Hi everybody, welcome back. This is Words and Other Good Ideas, and I'm following on from my earlier review, and I'm going to be talking now about the Well of Ascension, Mistborn Trilogy, Book 2 by Brandon Sanderson. Fair warning, there are going to be spoilers for the Final Empire in this video. If you've not read the Final Empire, then watch my review, there's a link in the description, and then come back and watch this video when you're going to move on to Book 2. There obviously aren't going to be any Well of Ascension spoilers in this video, but I am going to be talking about the events that have happened previously. Namely, those are the events right at the end of the Final Empire where the Lord Ruler has been slain. He's gone, he's dead, they achieved their goal. Wasn't it exciting? I thought it was really exciting. And this means that this book takes a completely different tone. The plot is just stunningly different. It just, concerns all of the same characters, so it's really progressive. It opens only a few weeks or days after the events that concluded the Final Empire. So basically, this book covers the time where they try and figure out exactly what to do. What government to establish, how to keep order. So it turns out, because of the house war that they themselves set off in the Final Empire, Vin and everyone else in the crew, obviously bar Kelsier, they end up being pretty much the only people of power left in the city, because everyone else has sort of evacuated to their other country estates to avoid all of the damage. So Elend Venture, he's the only noble of any status or standing left in the city. So basically he finds himself in power, and it takes a slightly more political bent than the last book, and indeed the third book. The plot just basically concerns the various machinations and manoeuvrings of lots of different people who want to be in power. On the one hand, you have Elend Venture, who's extremely idealistic, as we know, and basically has done loads of reading, and he wants to create the perfect, fair government. And this is all very nice, but it basically means that he's seen as soft and not really strong enough to maintain his hold on power. In a stunning turn of events, the original crew, Vin and Breeze and Ham and Doxon and everybody, they find themselves turning from political revolutionaries to the actual protective and bureaucratic force that is maintaining the current king/emperor. They all sort of relied on Kelsier to have a plan, a contingency plan for what might happen if they succeeded. And it becomes obvious that none of them really actually thought that they would be able to succeed, but then they have, and they're thrown into this more confusing world, really, after hundreds of years of the same Lord Ruler, the same system of government, the same rules and laws. Everything is in turmoil, and it really throws them, unsurprisingly. So a lot of the book is taken up with them trying to basically sort themselves out and decide what they want to be done. The other half of the book revolves, even more so than the previous one, around Vin's sort of personal struggle to come to terms with her power and her position. She's gone from being at the very, very bottom of the social order to being a publicly known Mistborn, the person who killed the Lord Ruler, the love of the current ruler, king, whatever you want to call him. So she's suddenly got this political status, and people are expecting things of her. So a lot of the book is sort of taken up with her internal struggle to reconcile ideas about herself and sort of just making a decision about what to do, how to protect the people she loves, and all of the obligations that she feels. So I really like that aspect of this book, this really, really deep examination of Vin's character. I felt a lot more connected to her, I think, in this book than I did in the first one, even though I loved her in the first one as well. This one really just takes it to a whole new level. We learn quite a lot more as well about the general world that this is set in, because there's just more scope for discussion and new characters to come in this book because of just the way that the plot works out. There's a lot more, not to be gained, but there's a lot more that can be worked into the general plot. So we learn more about the Terrorsmen, what lies beyond the capital city, the other powers that there are in the world, things that are sort of mentioned in the Final Empire but aren't really explained, get a little bit more explained. One of these things is the Koloss. You find out sort of a little bit about what they are and what they do. Atium is discussed quite a lot in this one. But there are a lot of things that are left unexplained, and it's really exciting because every time you hit one of these sort of rough notes, you realise that obviously there's still quite a lot more to come in book 3. And so I felt quite a healthy amount of anticipation while reading this book. I just really wanted to get through it so I could figure out all of the secret things that Brandon Sanderson obviously is building in to his trilogy. All in all, this book it's Sanderson, so obviously it's lovely to read, amazing to read, and exciting and interesting. It is quite different, I think, from the first one, just in the style of how it's written, because obviously it concerns different things, so that's unavoidable. So you will, I expect, like one more than the other, just depending on your preferences. I wouldn't go so far as to say that this was a filler between book 1 and book 3, but in terms of actual fast-paced action and really important events, this is definitely the lowest of the 3 if you were ranking them. I will say, if you are interested in the political side of things, political wrangling, intrigue, that type of thing, then this one is probably going to be absolutely up your alley. It is really good. So I'm giving it a 7.5 just because I liked it a little bit less than the first one, but it's still really good. It's just really good. So as always, if you have any questions or comments, then leave them below or message me on Twitter, and like, share, subscribe. There'll be more videos coming soon.